So how should we start? What do you think? How should we start?
Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste, everyone.
Namaste, everyone. Hello. Welcome to our second edition of the podcast. The podcast still doesn't have a name. Today here with me is my yoga teacher and Guruji Yogesh, Acharya Yogesh. I think we can start straight away. Can you tell us, Yogesh, few words about yourself?
Myself Yogesh, and last 13 years I am a student of yoga and also a teacher of yoga. So I am learning, I am teaching in a teacher training programs, also in a retreat workshop, also I am doing healing. So this is my little introduction, and up to date now I think I have more than 200 teacher trainings.
Wow, what a number. That's amazing. Okay, thank you for your word. How do you remember, how do you get on path of yoga?
So previously I was working with a bank, and I was there for insurance selling there. And at one point of my life I realized this is not fulfilling my purpose of this life. And then I quit my job. At that time nothing was on the horizon. But I take this time for the soul searching, and then yoga appears in my life. And as soon as I start practicing every day, and it gives me amazing result, and then I thought, okay, I should go deeper and learn more advanced thing in yoga. And at the same time I have some spiritual insight from Osho and my teacher Swami Brahmavedanji, and with their blessings I went for 9-month residential course in Lonavala, Kevalyadham, which is one of the oldest institute of yoga in the world. And that's how the journey goes on.
Wow, yeah, beautiful. In these days, when you were let's say new in the yoga, on your journey, how did your practice look like that days? What did you practice from the beginning?
So, in very beginning, if I say I listen some lectures and read some books, and I have a continual search to make myself little better in some or other ways, as a good person, or developing some skill and opening my heart to the other people, helping others. That was there always. And with motivation from all these books and things, and I have a spare time. Then in my city I have one yoga class, so I joined them. And soon I realized this is just the things I am looking for.
What did the class look like? What was the,
It was in India, generally all the classes are traditional Hatha at that time. And still I think 95% of the classes are traditional Hatha yoga classes.
Okay.
All the various style of the yoga exist, I think, only in the West.
Yeah, we will get to that actually. Yeah. Okay. So, as probably 90% of people who join this path of yoga, you also start with the asana and breathing techniques, right?
Yes, asana and pranayama. Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Everybody is always curious about the definition of some kind of definition of yoga, and I now I would like to avoid some like books definition. Can you describe yoga in your own words? And possibly, do you think it lead us somewhere or has it some goal?
Yes, means there is the book definition everybody knows, like yoga is a union of the body, heart and mind. But we seldom realize what the body is, what the heart is and what the mind is. And without realizing what the body is, you have to study what really body is. We just consider, okay, I know about the body, but people seldom know about their own body, how their cell functions or how their system works, and what is good for their body, what is bad for their body. They don't know anything about how these emotions are arising or from where these thoughts are arising. So we never actually study yoga in the deeper way. We take the definition and we think, I know my heart and mind. But how many times really we study if the anger arises, from where it arises, why it arises, or this bad thought is coming and that is taking too much energy, from where it comes, what I can do with that. We just accept, okay, it's coming and I have to resolve it, but how? And yoga on the deeper level is that search. You go on asking, okay, what my body is, what my heart is, what my mind is. And if this body, heart and mind I am owning, then who am I? And this is the biggest quest for the yoga, who am I?
Yeah, that's the question you can ask all life, right?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. I think I can follow with next question. How does yoga manifest, like in someone's life? You know, how it influences your life?
I think I got a 180-degree transformation in my life through yoga. If I consider if I was doing the same job, would I be ever able to travel half of the world and teaching everywhere, getting that much of the respect and love in my life? And also I grow in tremendously in my love out of fear and all the greeds and anger. That is just a waste of the mind and time and life.
So just in case you noticed that the camera angle changed, is because there was some issue with tripod battery. So we can continue now, right?
Yeah.
So we finished the question, how does yoga manifest in someone's life? And now you said a bit during your introduction, few words about yourself, but like, can you say like again which part, which area of yoga now are you like focusing on? Like what do you provide? You know, what you are, let's say, into right now?
So yoga has two main differences. One is the outside practices that we do with the body and the breath. And the other part is the inner practices, which is Raja Yoga or Patanjali Yoga. And that is working with your mind. It says Man, Buddhi, Chit, Ahankar. So Man is the mind, Buddhi is the intelligence, Ahankar is ego, and Chit is awareness.
Maybe just to explain a little bit more, why you called work with body and breath like outer practice?
Because that you can see, and one person can outside also see and monitor. That's why it's outside practice, while what is happening in your mind, what is happening in your intellect, what is happening with your ego or awareness, that only you can decide.
Okay, so that's why it's called inner practice.
Yes.
So this is the area you are focusing on right now?
Yes, mostly this area I am focusing now.
And what do you use for that? Like what practices or what, techniques?
It's the first and foremost practice is the self-observation of this four in all situations. So yoga is not about 1 hour of practice on the mat, but it's a 24 hour of living a life of yoga.
See? Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. Okay. You told us already about that you are remembering your let's say first meeting with yoga. And could you really describe the first your yoga session? Like was it really asana practice or was it something different?
So if I understand now yoga correctly, then yoga starts in very much in the childhood.
Wow.
Like when I was maybe 3 or 4 years, and initially when I am sitting with my mother at the temple, that was also a yoga.
Uh-huh.
So this is also a part of yoga, it's a bhakti yoga. And then I feel good. And if you ask me in the traditional means what the modern understanding is about yoga, the first class was definitely asana class.
Mm-hmm.
And my body was very, very stiff and unhealthy at the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, after sitting in the bank. Okay, good. And maybe just because here in Western part of the world, people are really let's say stuck with the body and with the asana practice. I know we can't say it like in general because it's individual approach, but for how long did you stay with the asana practice?
So I started my asana practice in 2009, late 2009, and I'm still doing my practice. It's not like, okay, I put it on a shelf.
Mm-hmm.
But the practice, the way of the practice changed over the time. Initially, I was in a rest to doing all the difficult posture or with lots of movement and feeling strength and flexibility. That was the purpose. But over the time, I realized it's when you are doing asana practice, the purpose is to connect with your body and self and bringing all the awareness of the body.
Mm-hmm.
So now my practice is slow, gentle, holding the pose for longer duration, and it's more like a meditative practice.
Mm-hmm. You perfectly lead me into the next question, which I wanted to ask, or which I want to ask. So now you describe how your asana practice looks like these days. So very slow, very gentle, staying longer in the postures. And can you describe your whole practice these days, let's say during the day?
So, generally, first thing in the morning I do is a meditation, sometimes for 1 hour, sometimes for 2 hours, and then I take a breakfast, and then whatever little work I have to do, or reading or listening some lecture.
Mm-hmm.
And then before lunch, generally I do my asana and breathing practice.
Mm-hmm.
And then after lunch, I have my schedule, and then again I listen some lecture, do some meditation. Sometimes meditation could be different in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
It's maybe a dancing, more active meditation in evening, and in the
really?
morning it's a silent sitting.
Okay. Okay. Why the meditation changes in the evening, like for movement and maybe that thing? Why is it more active in the evening?
In the morning, when you come out of the sleep, it's a beautiful time where your brain is not still very chaotic, and you can go very, very deep in this state.
Mm-hmm.
So I chose morning for the silent sitting, and if I have done one silent sitting session, Then to balance it, I chose one active meditation.
Wow, that's nice. That's nice to see. Yeah, okay. Thank you for that. You already mentioned that as well. But the question is on the paper, so I will ask again, just to make it clear for everyone. Who has or had the biggest impact on your path of yoga, on your yoga journey? It could be like person, it could be book, it could be like whatever.
So I will say Osho and Swami Brahmavedanji has the biggest influence in my journey, and I will tell my ex-wife has also lots of influence because of her I was able to meet my real teacher and enlightened master Swami Brahmavedanji.
Yesterday we were talking evening a lot about women. and so do you think without her you maybe would not be on the path of yoga? Or you think that because I feel that it's your purpose here, so it would come anyway?
I think it would come anyway, but nature has a very mysterious way to bring every experience. Maybe at that time I need that experience of the marriage, so it happens, and then I need experience of living the life of yoga, so it's happening now.
Okay. Speaking about life and yoga, sometimes I ask here also some like controversial questions. What do you think, or how do you feel? Maybe it's more better question. How do you feel about evolution of yoga these days? And you can say really whatever you want. You don't have to hold back.
So my laughter tells me anything.
Yes. So do you want to close it with this, or you want to tell us more?
So one has to really differentiate. One wants entertainment or one wants to transform. So there are 150 styles of the yoga exist in the world now. And many of the styles has nothing to do with the yoga. It's just like a beat and pieces of the Hatha yoga, and then they add some entertainment in it and call it yoga, because yoga word sells now.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
this is sellers, they are not yogis. It's one thing one has to understand. If you are getting money out of the yoga, then ask the question whether you want to spread a love and more change in the humanity. That is your purpose while teaching a yoga, or your purpose is to earn some money. And if your purpose is to earn some money, do some businesses, banking or anything. But if you want to spread more love and values to the humanity, then you should be a yoga teacher.
Why do you think in like, let's say last, if I can count it, 70, 80 years, so many different kinds of yoga developed?
See, yoga previously was a practice that was always for the selected few. And yogic practices were taught only to the people who are really away from the life and devoted to the yogic life. So that was the previous practices. And their only motive is to seeking a transformation in their life. So before 200 years, the yoga exists on that level only. But this is the era of information. So before 100 years, it start, all the books get published and all the society has learned the yoga. And when everybody learns the yoga, then their ego says, okay, I can create one yoga style too. And they learn little bit of the yoga and then take some element out of the practice and say, this is my yoga. And I trademark it, but yoga is a 5,000-year-old tradition. How you can trademark it?
Exactly. Exactly. That's true. Several times during our conversation, you mentioned Hatha yoga. In your words, can you describe what is Hatha yoga?
So Hatha yoga, traditionally, the founder of the Hatha yoga is a Gorakhnath, who have separated Hatha yoga from the Tantra. So Hatha yoga is a two word, ha and tha. It's like a balancing the two element in a sun and moon. So it's like a Hatha yoga prepares your body and brain to enter into the inner form of yoga.
Okay, thank you. I think not only me, but I know about it already, but our viewers, they could be really interested how does the life in ashram look like, because Yogesh a lot of time spent living in ashram.
Yes.
So can you tell us some like behind the scenes how does it look like to live in ashram? Let's say, because people usually think about, oh, there is some schedule, blah blah blah, you need to do this. So can you just tell us something about life in ashram?
So in India there are many kind of ashram. So first category is a touristic ashram. So tourist goes there, and they charge some money and they have a nice facility and they look like little bit of the schedule, offer some practices. That is also an ashram. But it's like a initial experience for someone. And then there are the ashrams which is very traditional in the nature, so they have a very strict schedule and very strict rules. But then they are bounded by certain tradition only. And if you go to those ashrams, then you have to follow their tradition and follow their schedule and rules. And then I will say there are real ashrams where you can really bring the transformation within. So I will say the ashram I live is a really transformative ashrams where there are no rules. Understanding is the only rule. And then you can decide what you want to do for yourself, and you have a tools and means to do the practices you want to do over there. And we are living with a very minimal things, like it's a very hard even to imagine in the Western world what the minimal things look like. It's like just the one mattress and one pillow and little bit you can for your cover, and in a room which is provided to you has nothing in it. The toilets and bathrooms are a little away, and the ashram is very big, like around 1.5 kilometer area. So kitchen is far, like 1 kilometer from your place.
Okay.
So to get everything, you have to work. And then there is a lots of struggle. You are living in a perfect kind of the forest. It's a beautiful and wonderful experience. You can just remain in the present moment over there, and so dense energy. But everything is challenging. Everything breaks the conditioning of your mind. So it turns you 180 degree upwards down.
Okay, I think what will definitely what will be definitely interest of the viewers. So you basically live like in the community, right?
The community or ashram community, ashram,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
So if there are no rules, no schedule, nothing, do you have some like practice all together?
Yes, we have a listening the lectures of masters. That's together, and then everything, or we cook together. This is a practice. It's together, and the rest of the area is divided. Like it's your choice. If you like to do cleaning, or if you like to do painting, if you like to dance, or if you like to practice on singing or music, or if you like to practice yoga for the whole day, or if you want to sit and meditate, or if you want to do some administration work of the ashram, that's your choice.
Just a quick question. Is anybody there practicing asanas?
Few of the people are practicing asana too.
Just to make it clear, how many people, plus minus, is living there?
It's, let's say, like now there are 70 or 80 people permanently living there. So I will say all the people have practiced asana at least certain time of their life. Right? But now I think there are 10 to 12 people, they are regularly practicing asana. And when I go there, I generally organize a asana class over there.
Oh, okay. The reason I'm asking is just to show a little bit more that yoga is not only the asana practice as we mostly think of it here.
Definitely not.
Yeah. Okay, another question about ashram. We will maybe stay here a little bit longer because it's very interesting, I think. I can imagine how can be touristic ashram like functional because they got money from the tourists, right? They pay the fee and they got some profit for that they can live on.
Yes.
How does your ashram work in this like financial page?
So my master was a firm believer of the truth and God. He always used to say the ashram runs not on the money, but from the love, from the heart of the people. So we share, we give whatever we can give, and it opens up the heart of the people, and then in return they share what they want to share. And this system works perfectly for us.
Okay, and so it's completely functional, just like
based on voluntary donation.
Okay, and so you got some money like from outside as well?
Generally, we got money for people who are visiting there. It's not compulsory fees. It's
if they want to.
If they want to donate.
Okay.
And how much they want to donate, it's up to them.
So you, let's say, grow some. You have some garden there. You grow your own vegetable and.
We don't do farming kind of the things, but we have created a forest over there. So it's a beautiful place my teacher has created.
Okay, perfect. What do you think? Is there something? I know it's a whole thing is interesting, but do you think there is still something which would be worthy to answer?
So, when you enter into the real ashram, so many times it happens people come to visit there and doesn't realize what is there, because the outside form doesn't look like an ashram.
Okay.
But if you stay there and slowly realizing how this energy is working and how everything is working, then you realize this is much more deeper than our understanding.
Nice. Maybe one last question about ashram topic. When and also how, or what was the cause that you decide to stay in ashram, to go there and just be there? I know it's because of your teacher, mostly, but was it something else? Like
Every time I go into the ashram, I have a little deeper self-transformation. Then you can really feel this energy within you. It's like when you break your conditioning and expand your limits, or you start living within no limits, how it feels. And it's a ultimate liberation. More and more you get liberated each and every time, each and every day.
I also have kind of the feeling that living in communities would be a very nice experience.
I think this is the perfect thing, and now I feel we should have a more community like this, and I hope one day we can also create with my group this community. Though we have started a very small step, and it's a Osoga charitable trust we have created in India, and hoping it will happen.
If there is anyone interested living in community, I'm open to it. Okay. Let's leave the ashram behind. And last question, or maybe not last, but last written question. Also, I know it can't be said in general, but is there any practices, one or more, you would recommend to someone who is on the path of yoga and want to really do the, let's say, real yoga, and go deeper to grow?
Grow in love and awareness.
Okay. For them, can you be a little bit more specific? Let's say
You ask what you love. Do you really love someone or something? Sometimes people say, I love traveling, but then you are repeating, I love myself. But that's not love, it's just an hobby or entertainment. Sometimes people say, I love my dog, but the dog is just an emotional, for satisfaction of the emotions there. If you love someone or something, you set them free. You don't bind them. You let them live like as they intended or they want. And you are just there to help them or support them or cheer them up, or whatever means you can provide them.
See, and this is the reason why I actually love you, because here, let's say, we really get stuck in some concrete practices, we need to give them name and something, and you always showed me just when I ask you for some specific practice, you said, grow your love. Easy. Yeah, and that's why it's perfectly working for me. But anyway, I will kind of push you to name some concrete practices. Let's say if you recommend for everyone to do on a regular basis, I don't know, meditation, Om chanting, whatever these practices could help to everyone.
So for inner side, I will say self-observation. Whatever you are doing, keep 5% attention with yourself. How I am feeling that. How I am, what thought appears when this experience happening. For outside, one practice if you want to do, then I will say Om chanting. You can just chant Om beautifully for 10-15 minutes and be with this vibrational frequency. And it has a power for transformation too.
And so that's why it's the yoga.
Yeah.
And this is completely enough of practice, right?
That is yoga. And there is a branch of yoga which is called mantra yoga, where people chant the mantra whole day. Sometimes they decide to chant the same mantra for 100,000, 108,000 times.
Maybe someone like should not be into this knowledge. So what is mantra?
So mantra is any specific verse or word which invokes the divine feeling within you.
Okay.
It could be a Sanskrit mantra, it could be a mantra in your own language.
Now I just created one question in my mind, also a little bit controversial. When you say mantra, should it be sing in the specific, pronunciation and rhythm, or it can be somehow transformed? Because you know where I'm going. Because lately, now the bands start to sing mantras and they create their own melody and they are changing it. And I can remember one time when we were together in India, I think it was the second teacher training, and we were singing mantras there, and someone played there like another mantra and said, but this is completely different.
See, in a Sanskrit mantra, they created in such a way, so when you are chanting those mantras, the certain pranayama effect is inbuilt in them. So it is based more on scientific basis. And when someone creates the mantra on their own, maybe this knowledge is missing. So this is a difference, I can say technically, but ultimate purpose is to whether you connect with the divine with this mantra or not. If you cannot connect with the divine, then it's not a mantra. And with whatever rhythm you can connect with the divine, then I will say it's a mantra.
Okay.
The basically mantra has a two word. It's a form from the two word man plus atra. Man is a mind, and atra means transcend. So the word or phrase which is the ability to transcend the mind is a mantra.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so as a recommended practices, you mentioned growing of love.
Yes, and awareness.
Om chanting. Is it enough, or is there anything else?
This is enough, and if you want to do for your body, then do some asana practice, something for your breath, then we are already learning this technique of the 3 SRB, or any pranayama will work. The best pranayama I say is a Brahmari and Nadi Sodhan.
Oh, I love Brahmari. Yeah, I love it. I think for us here is very helpful to kind of stop the mind, because the state of the mind after this technique is so wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I know you are focusing a lot like for the inner yoga, let's say inner part of the yoga, but also do you have any recommendation for the outer part, let's say any book to recommend if someone want to, let's say, start or go deeper into yoga?
So I can really suggest any book from Kevalya Dham publication. They have a book for asana, and this is beautiful. It also depicts the advantage and disadvantage of every practice, and who should do it, who should not do it. So it's in very details. They have one particular book on asana, other book on pranayama. Those are beautiful books. And other book is from the Bihar School of Yoga, Asana, Pranayam, Mudra Bandh. These two are fantastic books.
Okay, perfect. That's all from my questions. And now I will ask you, I will try to read very fast and you will react immediately. Like I will give you option of 2 and you will decide. It's just 6 examples and you will just reply. Tea or coffee?
Tea.
India or Switzerland?
Oh, India.
And now, dogs or cats?
Kids.
Oh, beautiful, thank you. Bus or plane?
Bus.
Bus. Ice cream or mango cake?
Mango cake.
This is a wonderful one in India, right? Okay. And now at the end of this podcast or interview, I usually give like, let's say 40 seconds to, if you want to say something to the viewers, but you can say it longer, that doesn't matter. You can say whatever you want, if you want to just send some message, or like whatever, really.
So first of all, I would like to say thank you for watching this podcast. And one message I just want to give you, like this is your life. Yoga is a life. And what you want to do with your life, that's the question you have to ask for yourself. If you are okay with the life you have, then it's perfect. But if you are not okay with the life you have, then seek how to transform it. And for this transformation, yoga is an excellent way. And practicing yoga every day gives you enough of the strength, courage, and a means to transform your life. So practice it every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Yogesh. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's all. See you next time. Thank you, Yogesh, very much. Thank you, Yogesh, very much. Thank you. Thank you. It was wonderful.